All right, Gary, I appreciate it. Well, 20 years have passed since the historic fall of the Berlin Wall. A massive anniversary party is underway at the capital's famous Brandenburg Gate. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is there with more.
One by one, a wall of giant dominoes collapsed at the site where the Berlin Wall fell 20 years ago. Tens of thousands are remembering the historic anniversary that brought an end to communism in Europe. A night when East Germans dared to cross the border to the West. They took into their own hands the challenge President Reagan gave to communist leader Mikhail Gorbachev.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The former Soviet leader joined German Chancellor Angela Merkel as she retraced the steps she herself took the night the wall came down. 2 decades ago, this area around Brandenburg Gate was considered no man's land. To be here, you risked being shot. Now, this Festival of Freedom celebrates an end to those dark days. World leaders gathered at the iconic gateway to help highlight the world-changing event. President Obama sent this video message.
Like so many Americans, I'll never forget the images of people tearing down the wall.
U.S. Marine Dave Fuller and his family are based in Germany and say every American should mark this moment.
It's pretty amazing just to realize that in our lifetime that, this event happened.
Dagmar Mueller was only 10 when she watched the East Germans flood across the border.
I still remember with my brother we were there and we gave chocolate bars and things like this to the people coming with their cars.
Germans here say the wall that once divided their country will never again divide its people. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, Berlin.
And today's celebration included music from Bon Jovi and Beethoven to recall the joy of the borders opening. Berlin wasn't the only place where a mock wall came toppling down. Students at the Classen School of Advanced Studies constructed their own Berlin Wall made from cereal boxes, lined them up like a row of dominoes, and then set them toppling. The students know some of the history of the wall.
What happened to people in East Berlin who tried to cross the wall?
They were shot down even if they touched the wall.
All right.
Sad tragedy.
Well, Classen School was on one of 2 schools in the United States that created a domino for the 20th anniversary celebrations in Berlin.
"20 years ago today, history was made in Germany. The Berlin Wall came down. An anniversary celebration right now in the German capital with tens of thousands of people remembering the event that shattered communism's grip on Eastern Europe. World leaders, including former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, were on hand for today's celebration. Here in Oklahoma City, the fall of the wall was celebrated by students who were too young to even seen it 20 years ago.
Students at the Classen School of Advanced Studies cheered the wall's fall at their school, and they were well represented in Berlin, too. News 9's Gan Matthews explains.
Who says kids today don't know any history? The fall of the wall, what does it mean?
The freedom it brought to the people of Berlin.
To mark the anniversary, the students built their own Berlin Wall out of cereal boxes.
I drew several pieces of the wall to make it look like falling dominoes, and I put fall of the wall.
The recreation was the idea of German teacher Nancy Boudreau, who procured a piece of the wall during a visit to Berlin.
For $3, we rented a hammer and a chisel, and we got our own piece of the Berlin Wall.
12-year-old Shelley Wright got the dominoes falling. Some toppled easily, some needed a little help. One spectator fought back tears thinking about what happened 20 years ago.
It was one of the most emotional things I've ever watched because I saw it go up and I never believed it would ever come down.
Of course, about the same time, anniversary celebrations were taking place in Berlin. The Classen students got to see the Berlin Philharmonic perform, and that's not all they got to see.
They cheered when they saw the much larger row of dominoes fall in Berlin. You see, the German government asked Classen students to create one of those dominoes, and they did. A very rare honor indeed.
Many were asked, but only 2 chose to do it. Classen is one of 2 schools in the United States that actually chose to participate.
At long last, Shelley Wright knocked down the last domino. What was it all about?
It was about freedom for the other country.
Yes, something there is that doesn't love a wall. Ken Matthews, News 9.
And the Berlin Wall went up on August 13th, 1961 and endured for 28 years.